In Movies and Money today, our film critic Erik Childress is here, and he is fresh off a couple of screenings with films coming out this weekend, so good timing to have you on.
Yes.
Let's start with Finding Dory. This one could be a blockbuster.
Somewhere out there is my family. I can't find him on my own.
Hang on, Dory!
Surf's up, dude!
Incoming!
I don't want to be touched. Sorry.
That's okay. Everybody does it. Nothing to be ashamed of.
Well, they're already anticipating that the numbers on Finding Dory are going to be quite huge this weekend, which would be certainly a welcome relief for Hollywood, who is going through most definitely a summer slump. Box office is down 22% as of last weekend, and the Finding Dory numbers are expected to be very, very big. Some are even saying that it could possibly be the biggest numbers in the opening weekend of Pixar's history, surpassing even Toy Story 3. And it makes sense, because Finding Nemo is still one of the three biggest films that Pixar has ever released. It was the biggest film of the summer of 2003, and this movie actually has a chance, I think, to actually maybe even surpass Captain America: Civil War as being the top film of the summer.
A big deal for Disney.
Yes.
Moving on to the next film, Central Intelligence.
I'm in the CIA.
Are you joking with me right now?
Drop your weapon!
Do it now!
I got a plan. Might get us both killed, but if it works, it'll be a totally boss story. Cool?
Yeah, and the intelligence part is kind of left out of the actual movie this time. We have The Rock and Kevin Hart, obviously a big screen pairing, two very likable people for moviegoers.
Did you like it?
No, not at all. This is actually one of the worst films of the summer. Probably the second worst film of the summer after last week's Now You See Me Too. It's not funny. It's poorly paced. There's just nothing. I have nothing positive to say about this movie. There's one laugh, and you have to wait all the way to the end of the movie to get it, just before the bloopers. So I think it's going to do over $30 million this weekend. It should be number 2 at the box office, behind Finding Dory. But if people really want to see something this weekend, go see Finding Dory. And it's really, I mean, families are going to be the ones sort of dominating the summer for the next couple weeks. Finding Dory is going to be huge this weekend. It should be pretty big for several weeks. In 2 weeks, you have another Disney entry, the BFG, Steven Spielberg's new movie. So people are going to flock to that. And then the week after that, Universal has The Secret Life of Pets. So you have these 3 family films that are going to be bunched together, and I think they're going to be sort of usurping what's happening with a lot of the blockbusters out there.
What did you think about Finding Dory, just from the standpoint of it's been, about 12, 13 years?
13
and this
years.
is a sequel.
It is a sequel. It is a follow-up to The Adventures of Finding Nemo. It takes place a year later from the events of that film, and it's a very enjoyable film. It's a good film. As Pixar movies goes, we're kind of spoiled with Pixar in a way, because they produce some of the greatest animated films of the past couple decades, and Finding Nemo is certainly, obviously, one of them. Now, there are sequels over the last few years that they've sort of been, in a way, kind of been cash grabs. You know, they did a sequel to Cars that wasn't very good, but that was a sequel to a bad movie to begin with, and then Monsters University, which is a really lazy sequel to, I think, a really great movie. So this Finding Dory is actually a little bit more closer to the Toy Story films in the way that they really
that's a great franchise.
Oh, you know, Toy Story films the trilogy is absolutely fantastic. And it's not as good as those sequels. I don't want to mislead people too much, but it is a very enjoyable film. It has the emotion. It has some big laughs in it. It's kind of middle of the road Pixar, but middle of the road Pixar is still better than most films of any kind that come out.
Well, film studios need something to save this summer, it sounds like, Erik.
Yeah, and like we mentioned, the box office is down 22% from the previous summer, and even though Finding Dory is going to do some huge numbers this weekend, and you'll probably see stories written like, oh, the summer is saved, and Finding Dory saves the summer. It's not, actually, because on the same weekend last year, we were in the second weekend of Jurassic World, which in its second weekend grossed over $100 million, and it was the same weekend that Pixar's Inside Out grossed over $90 million, and Inside Out is still the biggest original film that Pixar has ever made. And so that's almost $200 million from the top 2 movies from the same weekend last year, and you're going to see the top 2 movies this weekend do somewhere between 130 and 150 million, and that's not going to be enough to get back on pace. It's going to fall further off the pace once again.
I will be red boxing it with joy this weekend.
Yes.
Joy the film.
Joy the film.
Yeah,
It's a
with
good
joy
choice.
too.
With
yes.
joy. Good choice.
With joy.
Yes.
Joy. Good to have you on the show. Thank you.
Thank you.